Welcome back to my channel. I'm James, and today we're going to be doing another one of my special Christmas movie reviews here. So I'm happy to announce today we're going to deep dive into the Rankin and Bass Classic Christmas Specials movie collection. And this is the 3 holiday favorites movie collection that just got released on 4K Ultra HD. Now this is something that I know a lot of you have been requesting and very excited for me to release here on my YouTube channel. Well, today we're going to dive into this. I did all my exclusive testing and I'm going to share all of that with you, tell you my thoughts on the films, and do my exclusive 4K versus the original Blu Ray release image comparisons so that you can see side by side how this compares and if this is actually worth the price of admission. And then at the end, as always, I wrap it up with my review score to let you know how this 4K compares to hundreds of other 4Ks I've tested and reviewed. Now to start off with, we're going to start off with the native image pulled from the original 2010 Blu-rays. Now, I'm going to be showing you image comparisons of each of the films in this box set throughout this entire video, but all of the images on this side for the Blu-rays are all pulled from the 2010 Blu-ray transfer, which has had dozens of Blu-ray cases that it was released in. Now this is the Steelbook set that came out last year, which I bought, and I've had numerous releases of it before that. And each one of them contains the exact same 2010 Blu-ray transfer on Blu-ray. They just put them all in different cases. So no matter which case you have of these releases, they're all the original 2010 Blu-ray release. Now on the 2010 Blu-ray releases, they were a very soft image. They had large amounts of DNR applied to it that took away any of the film grain in a lot of the scenes. Numerous scenes were incredibly soft throughout it, beyond even the DNR usage. The colors were very, very muted and downplayed on this Blu-ray release. And that was due to the original 2010 Blu-ray transfer they did just not being great for any of these films. So because of all the issues the Blu-ray transfer from 2010 had on it, I was always kind of curious, would they use that 2010 Blu-ray transfer and just put it onto 4K, or would they go back and do a brand new scan? Well, on the new 4K Ultra HD release, as you're noticing in those images up above, it is not the same 2010 Blu-ray scan that they originally did. They went back and did a brand new 4K scan of the original film elements. And that makes a big difference, especially for the Blu-rays in here as well as the 4Ks that I'm going to touch on here. But for this new 4K scan that they did, especially for like Rudolph and the Santa Claus, it did make drastic improvements that were leaps and bounds ahead of what the 2010 Blu-ray had on it. As you're noticing in the 4K Ultra HD release up there, just like on the Blu-ray, these are the native images pulled from these 4K discs. But keep in mind, just because it's the native image, YouTube's algorithm always dumbs down those images you see down to standard HDR. These do have HDR10 on them, and the HDR10 does look nice on these, so you will notice a healthy improvement even over the images you see above when you're watching this on your home display and you have a professionally calibrated 4K TV or player. You'll notice healthy improvements in the image, especially the HDR side of it, because of what YouTube does by dumbing down the 4K images. Now, if you haven't done so yet, make sure to go down and give this video a like and a thumbs up for me. Hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. We have a goal to get the YouTube channel here to 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year. We're going to be really, really close. So it's really important that you go down, give this video a like, hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. That way we can hit our goal by the end of this year. Now, all 3 films are presented in a native 4K 2160p. Because they did a new 4K scan from the original film elements, it makes a big difference in providing much more detail, especially like I said on the Santa Claus and on Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And all 3 films are presented in their original aspect ratio of 1.35 to 1. They weren't cut down or edited in any shape or form, so that's good news for this set as well. Now, these 3 Rankin and Bass Christmas specials did come out between 1964 and 1970, and there is varying qualities between them. And what I mean by that is you'll notice on the animation side, as far as what Frosty the Snowman has on it, it wasn't as big or as drastic of an upgrade as what Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer or the Santa Claus got by this new 4K scan. Now, I'm not going to say that Frosty doesn't look good. It does over the previous Blu-ray, but as always, when I sit going side by side and testing them out, I can see the exact differences between them, and Frosty was the one that out of this box set gets the least drastic improvement, whereas both Rudolph and Santa Claus are drastic, huge improvements. Gone is the DNR on all three of the films that was present on the previous 2010 Blu Ray releases. They did not use DNR in this new scan. It looks very healthy with the film grain. You can see it filmically throughout the entire movies. There wasn't any issues with fluctuations, really. I will say there was some slight vibrations where you would see like a wave through the film grain, especially on the Santa Claus at the beginning when the mailman is telling the story of all the postal mail he gets, talking about Santa Claus. You'll notice in the background of the sky there's some slight waves in the film grain. But that was about it. I mean, it looks really, really good, and I'm really surprised at how healthy both of those films really were presented on this new 4K scan. Now, another nice upgrade in this set is we did get a new audio restoration as well. This does get English DTS HD Master Audio 5.1 and the original Mono 2.0. But I will say the DTS HD 5.1 was a nice improvement in clarity, and you could hear much better what they were saying, the sound effects, the noises in the background, things like that, than what you could ever hear on the previous 2010 Blu-ray. So the nice thing is, with this new restoration they did, they worked on the audio as well as the visual elements, which made that a nice improvement on all three films as well. And even Frosty, that did get a nice audio upgrade over the previous 2010 Blu-rays in that sense. Now you do get a 2.0 in both French and Spanish on these films as well. And then subtitles, you do get English subtitles on all three films as well. Now touching on the HDR10 here, the HDR10 did provide a brand new color grading that they did that produced a drastically enhanced viewing experience for all three films. The color grading on all three, even on Frosty, does look much better than on those 2010 Blu-rays that were kind of a more muted color, especially because the scan just wasn't that great on those 2010 anyways. But overall, they were more muted. Every one of the films had a just kind of like a just duller color sense throughout it. On this, they're very vibrant, and the colors shine through great with the HDR10. Now, if after you get done watching my review and hearing my review score at the end, you decide you want to pick up any of these films, or you want to pick up this entire box set, I'll always have the links for it posted in the description section and as a pinned comment in the comment section below. You click down there, it takes you straight out to Amazon. It's on sale for the same sale prices everywhere, and those never cost you a penny extra when you click on those links, but those really do help to support this YouTube channel just a little bit. So make sure if you decide you're gonna buy this set or buy any of the individual titles, I will have all of them linked out down below, and I've made it nice and easy for you, so just make sure to click through those links down below. Now, like I've been talking about a lot recently with a lot of these Christmas reviews I've been doing, and it's a good thing what I've been talking about with a lot of these, because I'd rather them turn out well than to turn out bad, but just like I talked about recently with the National Lampoons, or if you haven't checked out, I also did Elf, the new 4K Ultra HD of Elf. That one's available on this YouTube channel. And then I also did A Christmas Story. And I did those reviews. If you haven't checked out those ones yet, you're going to want to go check out those reviews here on this YouTube channel. But as far as those ones went, they were dramatic upgrades on the 4K Ultra HDs versus the previous Blu-rays. Well, this is a similar instance in Santa Claus and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. They were dramatic upgrades in image quality, stability, the details in the image. I was really shocked at how much details came out in both of these stop motion ones. Just like in Rudolph, you can see so much detail on the fur on Rudolph and all of their costumes, and the colors are correct on it now. So like all of the colors in it look the way they should, where the characters had off colors on the 2010 Blu-ray, numerous of them. Now they're presented correctly with the correct color grading, that really made it look good. Now I will touch on a couple of the soft scenes that appear both in Rudolph and in Santa Claus. Those are due to the original film elements being damaged. They're going back and taking what they have that's available of HD and things and basically upscaling it in a few scenes. Those images and those few scenes will be soft no matter how many times they release them. It's not something wrong with your TV or player in those few very short and very brief scenes. But if you're like me and you notice things like that, you will see them. It'll be a really nice scene looking great on 4K. And then all of a sudden it'll get a lot softer and fuzzier for a few seconds, and then it goes right back. That's because the original camera negatives and the original film elements are damaged. And my understanding is based on the restoration they did for this release, those will never be repaired any better than what they're presented on this, because they're simply not available to go back and scan those. So they're upscaling what elements they have to try to make them look the best they can for those few seconds of scenes. But I'll take that any day, because the drastic improvement you get both in Santa Claus and in Rudolph, just because of this new restoration, is such a nice and healthy improvement that I'm okay with that, and I'll let that kind of slide, because that's not something that they did wrong or something that they can fix, because they're simply not available to go scan again. So taking that with the box set, keep that in mind. That's just something that's always going to be present on those films. Now, if you want some more reviews and recommendations on some great Christmas releases, both on Blu Ray and 4K Ultra HD, you'll want to check out my top 15 Christmas movies on 4K and Blu Ray video that I released previously. That gives a ton of suggestions of films maybe you don't know about or haven't heard about. Things that'll give you some Christmas ideas for some holiday films to dive into as well. And I've done a bunch of reviews in there, giving reviews on different releases as well. Now, showing you what you get in this. I really like the slipcover they used on this. I like how it's a little bit thicker for the actual 4K case to slip into. It says the Christmas Classic Specials Collection on the side. Then it shows all 3 timeless holiday specials listed out here. Now, I do want to talk about the special features here just for a second. I really enjoyed the Animagic World of Rankin and Bass special feature. My family and I watched after we watched through all the films, and I really liked that one, how it dived into how they made these films, showed behind the scenes of like how they actually outsourced things to basically China and things like that to get some of the animation done because it was cheaper. And I thought it was a great in-depth kind of behind the scenes. I don't always get to watch all the special features on all these releases because of how many reviews and testing and all of that I have to do every week. I kind of just don't get to dive into a lot of special features a lot of the time. But I really enjoyed that one. My family really enjoyed it. So that one really was a big highlight on this set. It does have a bunch of other special features like restoring the puppets of Rudolph, reimagining Rudolph in 4D, and there's a bunch of other things about the Rudolph the Reindeer attraction, how they were actually making a ride out of it, and kind of goes into all of that stuff, talks about Frosty the Snowman, commentaries on them. So there's a ton of special features in here to dive into as well. Now, you do also get a Movies Anywhere digital copy code of all 3 films in 4K in this box set, so if you want to dive into those and get it on digital as well, that's included in here as well. Now, when you get inside here, you do get your 4K discs here. Now, I will warn you, these holders that are on here do not hold the discs amazingly well. You have to be careful because my discs were loose. Thankfully, none of them were damaged or scratched. Once I clean them, and if you haven't checked out how to clean them, you can check out my How to Properly Clean Your Discs video. But I clean them that way all the time. Once I clean them, there was no actual scratches, just kind of smudges from some fingerprints and things like that from those that actually put them in the case. But just be careful when you open your case that you're not standing over something and they go sliding out on the ground. But you do get your 4K Ultra HD of Rudolph. All of the 4K discs in this are BD66s, and they are all region free. I tested them as I always do. So no matter where you live worldwide, both the 4K discs and the Blu Ray discs in this set are 100% region free. You'll be able to access both copies of it, no issues whatsoever. Now, talking about the Blu Ray discs here, I did like how on the Blu Ray disc, you're not gonna be able to see this right here, but it does say restored version on the Blu Ray discs. There's a reason that's important. This cover art is the exact same cover art that was on the 2010 Blu Ray discs. The only difference is these say restored version on them. Those 2010 Blu-rays did not. So none of the discs in this set say restored version on them, so they're easy to tell the difference because of that. So I did appreciate that Universal went the extra mile to make sure to put that on there, so that way you know the difference in the discs. If you own the previous set, you won't get them mixed up. The Blu-rays on here do contain the restored version. They have a better color grading. They have the new 4K scan, obviously dumbed down to 1080p with no HDR. So if you're not eligible for 4K yet, buying this set does future-proof you and gives you access to the best version of Rudolph, Frosty, and Santa Claus that have ever been released on home video. So that was a very nice addition and upgrade that they gave us all of those options as well. And then getting the last disc, you do have Frosty and Santa Claus. Now, gone on this new 4K Ultra HD are the blinking and the image instabilities and all of those things that you had from the previous Blu-ray release. There was numerous scenes on the Blu-ray release where you'd notice the image would kind of just flash and blink, and it was mostly due to the way that they actually made that scan. It wasn't done well. I mean, honestly, I hate when they use DNR anyways. It just ruins the overall image of a lot of these classic things, so they take away natural detail that's present in that image, and they remove a lot of that, which is why a lot of the times on the 2010 Blu-ray, if you pay attention like on Rudolph, the mustaches on the characters or the eyebrows, there's a lot of scenes where you actually lose, where it just looks like it's a smudge of dirt on their eye instead of actually being like where you can see the hair and the things that they used for the fabric of their mustaches and their clothes. They just look so overly smooth. In this, it looks fantastic. Those same scenes are gone on this, where you can see the details in their eyebrows and their mustache on the character and their clothes and the fur on Rudolph. Man, it really was a nice improvement. And these new 4Ks are much more filmic and much more enjoyable now that they've been completely restored to the way they should have properly looked when they ever released them on Blu-ray originally. Now, touching on the negative here, I mentioned about Frosty way earlier in this video, and there's a reason for that. Frosty, as I said, was not as drastic of an improvement. It does look good, the colors look better, but overall I felt as far as the scan goes and things like that, when I sat and went side by side as you're noticing in those images above, it looks good, but nowhere near as good as Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer or the Santa Claus. Those were the big drastic upgrades. So if you're gonna only buy 2 of them and you don't wanna buy all 3, the 2 that I would suggest buying are Rudolph and the Santa Claus. Frosty does look nice, but it's nowhere near as healthy of an improvement as the other 2 were. Now, getting to my review score, for this entire set, because I'm including Frosty in this, this gets a very good 9.1. It is recommended to buy this set, even with Frosty included, because this set is a lot cheaper to buy with all 3 films together. You're basically getting Frosty for free in this set anyways if you buy it as this 3 bundle box set. So in that case, the 9.1 holds up. Now, if this box set would have been like 70, 80 bucks, I'd say, maybe you should get them separately. But when you buy them separately, you're basically getting one of the films for free by buying this box set. So in that case, you're basically getting Frosty. So that's where I felt like it still holds its value. But keep in mind, it is a 9.1. So in comparison to all the other reviews I've done over the years, that gives you an idea of where this stands. It's a very good release. It is an upgrade, but it's not going to be nearly as drastic of an upgrade as what you were expecting with like National Lampoons or Elf or things like that. Some of those had such a huge improvement that it was kind of just night and day. These are good, and they're still very good improvements, but not such heavy night and day that's going to just blow you away completely. They're good looking, and they are very good looking, don't get me wrong. But remember, I have to scale things based on how these compare in comparison to other 4K releases. These are worthwhile additions and are worthy upgrades, and highly recommended to add these to your collections. Because in the 9s, those are things that you're going to want to have, that you will enjoy watching over and over again, that are worth spending your money on. And you know, even those low to high 8s are good as well. This gets a 9.1, and that's a very good review score for this. Frosty, again, as I said, was the only one that I kind of felt like wasn't as drastic of an upgrade. Let me know how excited you are for this release. If this is another one you're excited to add to your collection, let me know which one of these are your favorite films and that you're most excited for of the 3 Christmas specials in here. I always am curious, did you like all of them? Did you only like one of them? Make sure to start that conversation in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts on this. Let me know how excited you are that I finally was able to get this video done for all of you. I know a lot of you have requested this. I think I had something like 300 votes and something like 200 messages, and then I had another like 35 comments requesting this. So I got it done for all of you. I'm still working tons of time for all of you to provide all this content as fast as I possibly can. This is a great upgrade. If you do decide you want to buy this or buy them individually, make sure to click through those links in the comment section and in the description section right below this video. That's where I always post them down there for you. It makes it nice and easy for you. So if you enjoy all the time and the hard work I truly put into everything that I make here, I put my heart and soul into everything I create on my YouTube channel. Make sure to join my Collectors VIP Club. That's the best way to support this YouTube channel. It only costs you a couple of dollars a month, less than the price of a cup of coffee, but it really does help to support the creation of these videos. You can also give a super thanks to the super thanks button down below. It's just like a tip. It allows you to give a couple of dollars tips on each of these videos too. That helps out too. Don't forget to give this video a like and a thumbs up for me. Hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. As an extra special surprise, I know that I had everybody vote about which releases I was gonna do. I decided, because I got so many messages, so many comments, and so many votes, this is gonna be coming up next for all of you. So make sure to stay tuned, make sure to subscribe. But I'm gonna be doing this with my exclusive 4K versus Blu-ray image comparisons as well. That way I've covered all of these that all of you wanted here this week on the YouTube channel. So make sure to stay tuned for that. As always, I hope all of you have a truly blessed day, and I've always got something new and very exciting coming out very soon.